Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great day. I am here outside of my house. I got a nice little shaded spot to do what I want to do today. I'm going to be showing you the ELOS tank that Francois from ELOS was kind enough to bring up from South Carolina for me to have for a planted tank for my daughter. Now, before I show you this tank, the reason I'm doing it outside is because I have a bag of salt, an ELOS bag of salt, that I got from Francois that had busted and got a hole in it. I don't know why. I think it was doing a demo with the salt or something. But anyways, the bag got a hole in it. They didn't throw it away. Francois was going to throw it away, and I said, no, don't. Let me have that bag. What I got in the bag is these clumps, this brick. We all hate saying that, I know. But we all know what happens when salt meets air in a bag. I'm going to show you how quick this salt clears up and breaks down in an aquarium. The amount of salt that I'm going to put in this tank, again, this is the Essential 36. It's a 6.5 gallon diamond glass aquarium. Diamond glass, I won't go into it too much, is something that ELOS came up with along with the bicomponent glue or the silicone that's holding the glass together. Completely clear, crystal clear. Bicomponent glue. It's amazing. I can literally look through the sides of the glass and see my phone like that. I can see my phone through the glass. Awesome stuff. And the silicone. I'll show you some close-ups later. So I got some stuff here from my daughter who painted these little fish for me that I am going to put into the tank later so you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to clarity. Now when I say clarity, I mean the clearest of clear. There is something called the I can't remember what it's called, the CRI scale, or clarity, color rendering index. And basically what that is if I have an object sitting inside of this tank, you're looking through the glass at that object. Now ambient light, daylight, whatever you want to call it, shining down on that object, looking through the glass, you see the same exact color as you would if that object was not in the glass. Same exact color. Color rendering index. This glass is 99% clear. That's amazing. There's no other aquarium on the market that I know of, I could be wrong, that has a color rendering index of 99%. Let me compare that to something like a Swarovski crystal, one of the clearest crystals that there is in the world. Well, they make the clearest crystals in the world. We'll go from there. Anyways, I'm going to just take this salt, again, brick of ELOS salt, got a few of them. Just going to throw them in here. I might be around the size that I need to be. Hell, we'll even put some of the free salt in there that isn't clumped up, just to show you. There we go. Now this is a 50-gallon bag. You get 3 of those in this box, and then a 10-gallon bag mixes up to about 170 gallons roughly at 1.024. I'll go over that with you in a second. So I'm just going to add some water to this and then show you how clear and how fast this salt mixes. Now this is going to take a second. Obviously I gotta get 6.5 gallons of water in here. Getting leaves in my tank. Trees right there. Did not come from the salt. I'll show you the analysis of the breakdown of all the elements in the salt, which is really cool. They have it on the container. See if we can get it broke up real quick. Sorry if the sound's not good. Obviously the water's going to drown my voice out. Now the reason I brought the fish out is to show you the clarity of the salt, not just the clarity of the salt and how fast it mixes, the clarity of the glass, which is very important when you have a company that says they have a 99% CRI, or color rendering index, 92% transparency on the glass with a 99% color rendering index. In other words, the color that's in this glass, in this tank, is the same with the same object. I pull it out of this glass, it's going to look exactly the same. No distortion in color, no pigment change, no nothing like that. It's going to look exactly the same in the tank as it is outside of the tank. See if I can speed this up a little bit. I don't know if I said this, the tank is 14 inches long, 14.2 inches long, 10 inches wide, like 10.3 inches wide, and then 11 inches tall, I believe. Really cool tank for aquascaping, a really cool tank for planted tanks, which is what I'm going to do with it. My daughter really wants another planted tank. She wants to have a little shrimp tank, which as a dad I have to do. And thank you again, Francois, for getting me this tank so I can make this video, and my daughter says thank you as well for the tank. Now this is going to be a freshwater tank, but I am going to do the build with the ELOS substrate, the ELOS soil in the future with this tank. My 30-gallon cube that I have inside is going to be my saltwater tank that I'm going to be utilizing all the ELOS and Predivio products with. This is going to be really cool. Wait till you see those videos. Got a whole bunch of cool stuff lined up. Let's see if I can get some of those little particulates out of there. Get it jacked up a little bit. You can see all the salt coming up off the bottom there. It's just trying to get it mixed up. Let that stop right there. Give it a little swirl. Now mind you, this is a brick of salt, so I mean it's gonna take a second to break up. My main purpose behind this was to show you how fast it breaks up and how fast it gets clear. And we all know in this hobby, for those of us who go to Magna, who put on shows, Reefapalooza, whatever you want to call it, Aquacella, when we go and we put salt in our show tanks at these shows, one of the biggest things that we come across is clouded water. Nobody wants to waste their time with having to add carbon or 30, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours of waiting for the salt to clear. So with ELOS salt, you're not going to have to worry about that. And I can guarantee that, because Francois can guarantee that. 20 plus years in the industry, ELOS can guarantee that. When they started doing their salt, it was a game changer, and you're going to see why here in a second. Absolutely amazing. And if you know me, you know that I love my salt. We use Tropic Marin, we use Fritz, we use Instant Ocean, we have used Instant Ocean, Tropic Marin, we've used Red Sea, we used everything under the sun as far as salt is concerned. I would compare this to a Tropic Marin salt as far as the quality of the salt. It's right up there with Tropic Marin, probably better. Francois will say it's better. Sorry, Francois, I'm just giving my opinion. ELOS salt is going to clear up a lot quicker than any other salt on the market, and I'm going to show you that here in a second again. So I got my little fish, and I'm just going to stick this in the tank to get the air out. Oh. Thank you, Zoe, for making the little props for my show. These are wood, and I'll show you those later in a second when the water clears up. So we'll start at 4:39 on the dot. Let that go for a second. I'll be right back. All right, so I told you I was, wow, it's already clearing up. Check that out. Already clearing up. 50-gallon bag of salt. I probably put in about 30 gallons, maybe 15, 20 gallons of salt in this 6.5-gallon tank. Already cleared up. Check that out. That's awesome. Still only been a couple minutes. I told you I was going to show the analysis, the breakdown for the salt. There it is, right there. One thing I really like about ELOS is they give you all of the basically the elements that you don't see on a lot of the other salts. That's really cool for me. The natural salt water, 8.5, minimum 8.4, maximum 8.6. They give you the alkalinity in microequivalents per liter. It's not a ppm. 3.5 I think is 9. I could be wrong, 8 or 9. Calcium 422, 409. Obviously you guys can see it. I'm not going to sit here and break down all of it for you, but there it is. Oh, it's 150 gallon. I was wrong. Plus 10 gallons for free. So that one box, you get 3 bags. Each bag is 50 plus a 10 gallon bag. Now for someone like me who is doing services, that's going to be great because we mix our salt in 200 gallon vats, and we don't want to mix our salt at 1.024. And you guys can ask all the questions you want about that. That's just not what we do. We have to supplement our tanks. We only service them every 2 weeks. Not going to go into detail with you. We mix our salt at around 1.022, 1.021, and I'll tell you about that why in a later video. It has to do with temperature and fluctuation in ambient temperature from the time the water hits our trucks, the time it's in our shop, to the time it hits the trucks, to the time it hits the shop. If it's winter, if it's summer, the salt's going to fluctuate. The density is going to be different. The salinity is going to be different. So we'll go into that later. Check out what's happening right now. This is already cleared up. I mean, you can see my hand, you can see the fish. It's not clouded at all. This is well water, so there's also a lot of other elements in here. Higher amounts of calcium, higher amounts of magnesium. I know that doesn't really matter, but I'm just breaking it down for you. I am showing you that, or telling you that it is well water. ELOS salt in the Essential 36, 6.5 gallon, 6.6 gallon aquascape tank. Diamond glass, 99% color rendering index, 92% purity. The silicone, guys, I cannot get over this. You know how we all get our tanks and they've got that finger smudge all the way up the sides that sometimes it comes out almost a quarter of an inch, half an inch. You can see it. That's horrible, right? We all scrape the sides and we always chip off little pieces, and then you got the serrated knife effect in the silicone. We all know that. You're not going to get that with an ELOS tank. That is awesome. This is the Ferrari of tanks. They're custom made every single time they make a tank. Every tank is essentially custom made for each individual. They don't sit there and mass manufacture a bunch of tanks like some other companies do, and they lose quality control. I always say to Francois, it's like comparing a Honda to a Ferrari. When you order a Ferrari, you're getting a car that is literally handmade. It's not something that's coming off an assembly line. There's a big difference in quality, and this just goes to show you. Again, I can sit here and look through the glass, through the silicone, and see my phone. That is absolutely amazing. There is still some salt on the bottom. I did not sit here and mix it up. What we would normally have, guys, we'd have a power head in here, we'd have an overflow, we'd have turbidity, we've had chaotic flow throughout the system, dynamic flow throughout the system, and the water would clear up a lot faster than it is right now. With other salts, how long do we wait? 35, 45 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. It's 5 minutes and there's the salt. No flow, no overflow, nothing out of the ordinary aside from just stagnant water, me mixing my hand around in it, hose, high pressure, breaking up the salt. There it is, guys. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer, no puns intended, than that. Hope you guys have a great day.